Good morning. I want you to join me in a simple but powerful act of self-care, one that more and more Americans are discovering can transform not just their day, but their entire approach to life. Before we begin, I invite you to find a comfortable seat, perhaps on the edge of your bed, in a favorite chair, or even on a cushion on the floor. There's no perfect posture required. Simply sit in a way that allows your spine to be relatively straight while remaining comfortable. Let your hands rest naturally on your thighs or in your lap. You might choose to close your eyes or simply lower your gaze to reduce visual stimulation. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Let's do that together 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Feel the subtle shift that's already beginning to happen in your nervous system as you consciously direct your breathing. What you're experiencing in this moment is what neuroscientists at Harvard Medical School call the relaxation response, a measurable physiological state that directly counters the stress response many of us live in chronically. Recent research from the University of California has shown that even 3 minutes of directed breathing like we just practiced can reduce cortisol levels by up to 11% and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs rest, recovery, and optimal cognitive function. But today, we're going to take this practice a step further by incorporating the scientifically validated power of morning affirmations. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, a neuroscientist at Northeastern University and author of How Emotions Are Made, explains that affirmations aren't just positive thinking, they're actually a form of neural programming that can reshape your brain's prediction pathways. Your brain is constantly making predictions about your reality based on past experiences, Dr. Barrett explains. Morning affirmations, when combined with the heightened neuroplasticity state present upon waking, can literally rewire these prediction circuits, creating new neural pathways that fundamentally change how you perceive and respond to daily challenges. This isn't just theoretical science. A groundbreaking 2022 study from Carnegie Mellon University found that participants who practiced directed affirmations for just 5 minutes each morning showed a 23% reduction in perceived stress levels, a 17% improvement in problem-solving capabilities, and significantly higher resilience in the face of unexpected setbacks compared to control groups. Sarah Johnson, a 42-year-old emergency room nurse from Boston, discovered the power of this practice during the height of the pandemic. "I was at my breaking point," she recalls. "The constant stress, the overwhelming nature of what we were facing, I could feel myself shutting down emotionally just to survive each shift." A colleague suggested morning meditation with affirmations, and though initially skeptical, Sarah was desperate enough to try anything. "The change wasn't dramatic at first," she says, "but it was noticeable. I found myself responding rather than reacting to crises at work. I had more emotional bandwidth for my patients and colleagues. After about 3 weeks, my supervisor actually pulled me aside to ask what had changed. She said my presence in the ER had somehow become both calmer and more effective." Sarah's experience aligns perfectly with the science of how this practice works. According to Dr. Andrew Huberman, professor of neurobiology at Stanford University School of Medicine, the first 30-60 minutes after waking represent a critical window when our brain chemistry is uniquely receptive to programming. During this period, your neural networks are in a state of heightened plasticity, he explains. The inputs you provide during this window have a disproportionate impact on your brain's default settings for the entire day. Let's now move into the heart of our practice. I'll guide you through a series of affirmations specifically designed to activate what psychologists call your resource state, the optimal mental and emotional condition for navigating life's challenges with clarity, purpose, and resilience. As I share each affirmation, I invite you to repeat it either silently or in a soft voice. The key is not just to say the words, but to feel them resonating in your body. Research from the HeartMath Institute has shown that when we combine verbal affirmations with embodied emotion, we create coherence between our brain waves and heart rhythms, significantly amplifying the neurological impact. We'll begin with affirmations designed to activate your sense of agency, your capacity to influence your experience rather than simply being at the mercy of circumstances. Take a deep breath and repeat after me. I choose how I respond to whatever arises today. X. Feel the power in that statement. Not that you control what happens, but that you always retain the freedom to choose your response. Let's say it once more. I choose how I respond to whatever arises today. Notice any sensations in your body as you affirm this truth. Perhaps a subtle feeling of expansion in your chest, or a sense of your shoulders relaxing. These physical responses are actually your nervous system recalibrating to align with this empowered perspective. Now, let's move to an affirmation that neuropsychologists have found particularly effective for priming your brain's executive function, the higher cognitive processes that govern planning, focus, and emotional regulation. My attention is a powerful resource, and I direct it wisely. Again, feel these words resonating through your being. In a world designed to fragment our attention, this affirmation reclaims your cognitive sovereignty. Once more, my attention is a powerful resource, and I direct it wisely. Michael Chen, a 38-year-old software engineer from Seattle with ADHD, incorporated this specific affirmation into his morning practice after years of struggling with focus issues. It sounds so simple that I was honestly doubtful, he admits. But consistently affirming my agency over my attention actually began to change how I approached my workday. Rather than feeling constantly hijacked by distractions, I developed an almost physical awareness of when my attention was being pulled away, and with that awareness came the capacity to redirect it. Michael's experience reflects the findings of a 2023 study from the University of Michigan, which demonstrated that regular practice of attention-focused affirmations led to measurable improvements in prefrontal cortex activity, the brain region responsible for sustained focus and impulse control. Let's continue with an affirmation that addresses what psychologists call your stress threshold, the point at which pressure becomes debilitating rather than motivating. I have all the resources I need to navigate today's challenges. The statement activates your brain's memory centers to recall past successes and solutions, creating a sense of resourcefulness rather than limitation. Again, I have all the resources I need to navigate today's challenges. And for our next affirmation, we'll focus on what positive psychology researchers call benefit finding, the capacity to recognize opportunities within difficulties. I find value and meaning in every experience, especially the challenging ones. This statement doesn't deny life's difficulties, but reframes them as sources of growth and learning. Once more, I find value and meaning in every experience, especially the challenging ones. Jennifer Williams, a 45-year-old single mother and small business owner from Atlanta, credits this specific affirmation with transforming her relationship to adversity. I used to see problems as just that, problems, she explains. Now I automatically look for the growth opportunity, the lesson, or sometimes just the story I'll have to tell later. It's completely changed how I experience stress. Our final core affirmation addresses what neuroscientists call your social engagement system, the neural networks that govern connection, collaboration, and empathy. I bring my full presence to every interaction, creating value for myself and others. This statement activates your brain's social cognition centers, priming you for meaningful connection rather than transactional exchanges. Once more, I bring my full presence to every interaction, creating value for myself and others. Now, let's take a moment to integrate these affirmations with 3 deep, intentional breaths. Inhale fully through your nose, and exhale completely through your mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. One final breath, inhale and release. As we continue our morning meditation practice, I want to share something important about affirmations that many people misunderstand. Effective affirmations aren't about denying reality or forcing toxic positivity. According to Dr. Ethan Kross, a psychologist at the University of Michigan and author of Chatter, the Voice in Our Head, Why It Matters and How to Harness It, the most powerful affirmations are those that acknowledge challenges while simultaneously activating your inner resources to meet them. It's not about pretending everything is perfect, Dr. Kross explains. It's about intentionally directing your mental energy toward what empowers rather than diminishes you. Our research shows that this kind of balanced self-talk actually leads to more realistic assessments and better problem solving than either overly positive or negative internal dialogue. With this understanding, let's move into the second phase of our practice, where we'll incorporate what neuroscientists call visualization with embodiment, a technique that combines mental imagery with physical sensation to create even deeper neural pathways. I'll guide you through visualizing your day ahead, while maintaining the centered, resourceful state we've established with our breath and affirmations. This practice has been shown to activate the same neural circuits that fire during actual experience, essentially pre-wiring your brain for optimal response to anticipated situations. Begin by taking another deep breath and gently bringing to mind the first significant activity or interaction you expect today. Perhaps it's a morning meeting, a challenging conversation, or simply the busy morning routine with your family. As this scenario takes shape in your mind, notice any sensations of tension or contraction in your body. There's no need to judge or change these sensations. Simply observe them with curious awareness. Now visualize yourself moving through the situation while embodying the qualities you've affirmed, choosing your responses, directing your attention wisely, accessing your inner resources, finding value in challenges, and bringing your full presence. See yourself navigating this situation not as you fear you might, but as your most centered, resourceful self. As you hold this image, notice how your body naturally begins to shift. Perhaps your breathing deepens, your shoulders relax, or you feel a subtle sensation of expansion in your chest. This is what researchers at the University of Wisconsin's Center for Healthy Minds call embodied cognition. Your body literally conforming to the internal image you're holding. Robert Garcia, a 51-year-old executive who incorporated this practice before high-stakes presentations, describes the effect. I used to visualize worst-case scenarios, which I thought was preparing me. When I switched to visualizing myself handling challenges with composure, something remarkable happened. My heart rate during actual presentations dropped by almost 20 beats per minute, and my thinking remained clear even when faced with difficult questions. It wasn't magical thinking. I was still preparing thoroughly, but I was training my nervous system to remain in an optimal state. Let's continue by expanding our visualization to include one or two more significant moments you anticipate today. For each scenario, follow the same process. See the situation clearly, notice any tension in your body without judgment, then visualize yourself navigating it from your most resourceful state. Remember, you're not denying challenges, you're rehearsing your optimal response to them. Now, let's deepen our practice with what psychologists call identity-based affirmations, statements that reinforce who you're becoming rather than just what you're doing. These have been shown to create particularly powerful shifts because they operate at the level of self-concept, which drives behavior more fundamentally than simple action plans. Take a deep breath and repeat after me. I'm becoming someone who responds rather than reacts. Feel the truth of the statement in your body. This isn't about perfection, but direction, the person you are increasingly becoming. Once more, I am becoming someone who responds rather than reacts. Our next identity-based affirmation addresses what researchers call growth mindset, the belief that your capabilities can be developed through dedication and work. I am someone who grows stronger through challenges. Again, feel this truth resonating in your being. I am someone who grows stronger through challenges. Dr. Carol Dweck's pioneering research at Stanford University has demonstrated that this growth mindset is one of the strongest predictors of resilience and achievement across domains, from academics to athletics to leadership. By affirming this identity each morning, you're literally reshaping your brain's predictive patterns about how you respond to difficulty. Our final identity-based affirmation addresses what positive psychologists call self-compassion, perhaps the most overlooked element of mental well-being in American culture. I'm worthy of kindness, especially for myself. Feel the power of extending to yourself the same compassion you would offer to someone you love. I am worthy of kindness, especially for myself. Dr. Kristen Neff, the leading researcher on self-compassion at the University of Texas, has found that this quality is more strongly correlated with psychological well-being than almost any other factor, including self-esteem. Self-compassion, she explains, provides the emotional safety needed to acknowledge mistakes and shortcomings without falling into shame or defensiveness, which in turn allows for greater learning and growth. As we prepare to close our practice, I'd like to share a powerful technique developed by Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, a pioneer in positive psychology at the University of North Carolina. Her research has identified what she calls the resonance effect, extending the impact of positive emotional states by consciously savoring them. Take a moment now to notice the state you've cultivated through this practice, perhaps a sense of centeredness, clarity, or calm determination. Whatever you're experiencing, allow yourself to fully inhabit this state. Notice where you feel it in your body, perhaps as warmth in your chest, a sense of groundedness, or a feeling of spaciousness. Now, set a clear intention to carry this state with you as you move into your day. Research shows that this conscious state bridging significantly increases the likelihood that you'll be able to access this resourceful condition when challenges arise. One effective technique is to create what psychologists call a state anchor, a simple physical gesture that you can use throughout the day to quickly reconnect with this morning's practice. This might be placing your hand on your heart, gently touching your thumb and forefinger together, or taking a specific pattern of breath. Choose something subtle that you can use even in professional or public settings. Practice your anchor now, intentionally associating it with the centered, resourceful state you've cultivated. Throughout the day, whenever you notice tension or reactivity arising, use this anchor to quickly reset your nervous system and reconnect with your morning affirmations. David Ramirez, a 47-year-old emergency medical technician from Chicago, created an anchor by simply touching his thumb and forefinger together. In my line of work, you never know what you're walking into, he explains. Having this simple gesture that I can use even while working with patients has been incredible. It doesn't make the chaos go away, but it helps me find my center in the middle of it. As we conclude our practice, let's take 3 final breaths together, integrating everything we've experienced. Inhale fully and exhale completely. Again, inhale and exhale. 1 final breath. Inhale and release with gratitude. For this time you've given yourself. The practice we've shared takes less than 10 minutes, yet research consistently shows it can fundamentally alter your experience of the day ahead. The key is consistency rather than perfection. A study from University College London found that it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, but the benefits begin accumulating from day 1. I encourage you to commit to this practice each morning for the next 21 days, long enough to experience its cumulative effects. Consider setting a reminder on your phone or linking this meditation to an existing habit, like your morning coffee or tea. Behavioral scientists call this habit stacking. And it's one of the most effective ways to incorporate new practices into your life. Remember that this isn't about adding another task to your to-do list, but rather about creating the optimal internal conditions for everything else you'll do today. As Dr. Huberman puts it, those who invest in mental practices like morning meditation and affirmations aren't taking time away from productivity. They're establishing the neurological foundation that makes true productivity possible. If you found value in this guided meditation and affirmation practice, please consider subscribing to this channel for more science-based approaches to optimizing your mental and emotional well-being. Drop a comment below sharing your experience with morning affirmations or any questions you might have about incorporating this practice into your life. Remember, the most profound change doesn't come from occasional grand gestures, but from small, consistent actions that gradually reshape your neural pathways and, by extension, your experience of life. Your morning isn't just the start of your day, it's the foundation upon which everything else stands. By intentionally setting that foundation with practices like the one we've shared today, you're not just beginning your day strong, you're actively creating the internal conditions for a life of greater clarity, purpose, and resilience. Thank you for joining me in this practice. May you move through your day with intention, presence, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you've aligned your mind and body with your highest potential.